Hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to the Quantum Status Podcast. I am your hostess, Melany Hope. I am a quantum energy practitioner, and I specialize in self-worth adaptation and as well as customized clarity work. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I will give 2 seconds here for a few more people to hop on, and then we'll get started. I am loving my tea today. It's just one of those days where everything kind of is flowing, but then not really at the same time. So I would think I knew what was going to happen, and then a monkey wrench would get thrown in, and it's a time for acceptance, accepting what comes to us, kind of letting go of the rest. So our topic today is acceptance. Now, I didn't realize that I would have a day that was all about acceptance before I decided on the topic, but there you go. So we'll get right into this. All right. So we have talked a lot about the self-worth adaptation part of things on these podcasts. They're usually only about 15 minutes, but I got really passionate in the last several ones, and they went for about 20. I think one went for even longer than that. So I want to keep this down to 15. Self-worth adaptation is simple and yet complicated at the same time. It's about the steps that we need to take and the strategies that we need to implement in order to truly learn how to love and be accepting of ourselves as people, as individuals. There are many different reasons why this is so important. In our society, we have been taught that, well, let's face it, the more you do for other people, the better a person you are. And unfortunately, this is simply not true. Because if we do not let that self-worth first be as a part of ourselves, then we're always becoming somebody else for this person or for that person. And the more that we develop ourselves, the more honest we are with who we are and can more effectively let go of all of the things that we are not. See, people pleasing is trying to be something for somebody else, even if it's not really you. So we kind of have to let go of the ego in a lot of ways and focus on ourselves at a next level of discipline, a next level of acceptance, because that's what we are and who we are. We are the only ones. See, I don't have your consciousness and you don't have my consciousness. We don't have each other's consciousness. Therefore, you are truly the only one who exists. So if you do not value yourself, your self-worth, then who is truly going to value you? No one. No one. Because the second that someone truly tries to value you at the level that would actually be truly worthy of you, then what will happen is they will be devaluing themselves. Are we starting to get this here? And this is a tough concept for people because we're in this, well, if you really loved me, then you would do this or you would do that. No. No, no, no. If someone really loves you, they're going to support you and they're going to stand by you and watch you figure your shit out. That's what love is. They're not going to leave you high and dry. They're not going to say, okay, well, we're not going to support you through this. But they're going to let you figure out the solutions. They're going to let you figure out the problem, because they know in the end, if they do everything for you, then they're actually screwing you over. We become aware of who we truly are through the things that we go through. Our abilities to develop the solutions for the things that we need are what truly show us who we are and our worth and our value. That should go without saying, but because we have been so brainwashed and so programmed by society to believe that our happiness exists outside of us, we really suck at finding solutions. We want the government to help us. We want our boyfriend or girlfriend to help us. We want our parents to help us, our family members to help us, our friends to help us. We need to get rid of the word help entirely, because once you realize that you are a fully capable human being, then you start creating solutions like this. Don't believe me? Try it. Try it. Say, I'm not going to put myself in a position where I cannot do something on my own. I will always focus on finding a solution myself first before I rely on somebody else to fix my problem for me. And this is where acceptance comes in. Because all of us, we are very different. Some of us were born a certain way than others. We're just natural born fixers. Others of us, we can't fix anything to save our lives, but there's always another solution. So focus on not what society has taught you you are, but who you believe you are inside. And honor that. Honor who you are inside. And here's the real secret. If you can stop and you can take a breath, just breathe. Simply breathe. And then let the word love enter your mind. Now, this is not love in the romantic kind of love. This is not love in an egoistic type of love. This is a love and acceptance of yourself. So here's what you can do, guys. Just give yourself a hug. A hug. And let all of that breath and that wholeness and that oneness of who you are come into your being. Accept everything about yourself. Are you in pain? Accept it as your body trying to get your attention because of a bigger issue, and love your body regardless of that pain. Are you going through a breakup or a heartache? Give yourself that love and know that you are worthy of all of your love for yourself. That other person won't matter as much when you start realizing that you haven't been loving yourself to the capacity that you can. And that's because of a lack of acceptance. There's a part of yourself that you're not accepting. You're thinking that this other person can fix that part of you that you're not accepting. Maybe you're feeling like you're inadequate in one area or another, and having this person in your life as your boyfriend or your girlfriend is going to fill that void. So when you look for a boyfriend or girlfriend, you are always looking for somebody who is really good looking or really successful in society's terms of success. And then you're compromising for that person. You're not keeping your standard high. you're compromising. Why? Because it feels better to have that little bit of ego fed. It feels better to be able to numb that thing in yourself that you haven't truly accepted than treated in a less than worthy manner by someone else. Are we kind of cluing into the real, what's really happening in ourselves and in our lives? If you can't accept who you are, you really seriously are going to find a lot of pain in your life. There will be a lot of pain waiting for you. Because if you don't accept you, your whole body, your whole cellular structure, your health, your physical well-being, everything that you are, mentally, emotionally, physically, and deeper into your true self. Now, some would call this spirituality. I struggle with the term spirituality, and I, of course, I very much so struggle with religious terms, but I struggle with the term spirituality because it kind of, I'll do another podcast on this. I won't get into this too much now. But the term spirituality kind of indicates that there's something outside of yourself. That spirit is something that isn't really you. And that is so wrong. That is so incorrect. Because spirit is you. Spirit is you. You are connecting with yourself at a deeper level, and that's what spirituality really is. And you do not have to follow a strategy for connecting with yourself or anything else. The best way to connect with yourself is to breathe. Stop, breathe into your tummy, not your chest. Really fill your tummy up with that breath. Do this. For yourself. Permeate your whole body. There will be a change that begins to happen in you. When you feel pain, acknowledge it. Stop, breathe, and allow yourself to love yourself through that pain. If you feel fear, stop, breathe, and allow yourself to love yourself despite of that situation, despite that fear. If you can do this, you will find your whole life starts to take on a very deep acceptance of who you are, and you'll stop fighting and pushing against every little obstacle. Against every obstacle, then you can actually start moving into the life that you want to have. Imagine this, okay? You need to push something heavy across the floor. Okay, you need to push something heavy across the floor. The harder you push, we're gonna say push. The carpet is the struggle. So we're pushing, we're pushing, and we're pushing. So you have a big dresser or something we need to move. And instead of lifting it up off the carpet, lifting it up off the resistance, we are pushing it as hard as we can across the carpet. And it is not moving. It's about, and it's straining, and maybe the bottom is even starting to break apart a little bit because we're pushing so hard on it. And there is so much resistance. When the solution is easy. It's not a big problem if you remove the resistance by slowly pushing something. slowly. It will work so much easier if you stop, you breathe, you love yourself, and then you slowly start to move the obstacles in your pathway. Everything doesn't have to get better really fast or overnight. You simply need to feel inside. Many of us find it so much easier to create a solution when we know that everything's going to be okay. Maybe our best friend came to us and said, okay, listen, I know you're having this problem right now, having this struggle. And if you can't figure out a solution, tell you what, I'll help you with it. I'll lend you the rest of your money for rent, or I'll drive you to work until you're able to get another car, or whatever it might be. Now, obviously, we're talking about very materialistic things right now. But once we know that we're going to be okay, then we go into overdrive to create our solutions, because we don't want our friend to have to do that. So now we're in a completely different space. Now we're not trying to move heaven and earth and stress and strain and break ourselves apart to make something happen. Now we feel safe. So then we focus on our solutions because we feel safe now. This is what we achieve when we stop, we breathe, and we love ourselves. We take on an acceptance of the situation the same way we would if we had that support from a friend or family member or some other type of support came along. Then we focus on our solution. And most of the time, we don't need anybody's help. So stop, breathe, focus on loving yourself, and feel your solutions come to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. If you would like to book to Melany Hope, Quantum Energy Practitioner, click on my name there in the title, and I would be happy to book a session with you or talk to you more about what you're looking to achieve, and we can create solutions together. I love you all. Gratitude and growth always.